What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got some more NBA news to be talking about with you guys, with it now currently being reported that CJ McCollum is at the top of the Los Angeles Lakers wish list, and this is all being reported by Sam Quinn of CBS Sports. Now, I've heard a lot of people have been saying that the Los Angeles Lakers should, of course, be going out and trying to trade for Damian Lillard. Let me just tell you guys right now, there is no way where the Lakers are able to get Damian Lillard. I just can't see a world where that happens unless he, maybe requests a trade there and the Trailblazers just say, hey, we'll trade you there, we're not going to get much, but we'll do it just because of your years of service. That's like the only way I could see him maybe getting to the Los Angeles Lakers. It's just not going to happen. Like, I saw people literally saying they should trade Talon Horton-Tucker, Kyle Kuzma, a sign and trade of Alex Caruso and KCP, and a first round pick for Damian Lillard. I think you've probably got to add in 5 first round picks and probably an extra first for even taking on Kyle Kuzma's bad contract. But hey, at the end of the day, that's never going to happen. But a CJ McCollum trade, that could definitely be something I could really see happen in the future. Now, of course, I was just joking with the Kyle Kuzma bad contract. I'm sure the Trailblazers would probably be still interested in him and could even be a part of this CJ McCollum, deal. But the reason I actually think CJ McCollum is so perfect for this Los Angeles Lakers is just based on the fact that they are going to be in desperate need to, of course, try and bring in some really nice, shooters here and there. And the reason I say this is because it's rumored that Alex Caruso is actually going to be looking to join a small market team. I think one in Texas is where it's rumored that he actually wants to go. I've heard the Cavaliers are interested in him. I think he will go to a small market team, to not be in the spotlight anymore, and get the bag. I think that's mainly the thing. We've heard about, Caruso before saying he does like it in LA, but he does sometimes wish he was at that, smaller market type area. And that's what I think he'll do in free agency. I think he'll join a small market team that will give him a fair bit of money on a long-term contract. So I think Caruso will go. He was one of the best shooters for the Lakers this season. Of course, their main, really good shooter in, of course, KCP, I think will also most likely be, looking to leave this season as well. I mean, he had another really good season, 41% from 3, 120 made from 293 on about 10 points per game. But again, with the way that some of the Lakers fans were trading him towards the end of the season, with recently he just got actually robbed in LA, where he lost like thousands of possessions, I believe. So that's probably another reason to say that KCP might not be actually returning. Again, Dennis Schroeder, we know he's not going to be returning. He has pretty much publicly stated that he does not want to be there. Again, he said before he got traded there he didn't want to be on the Los Angeles Lakers and he wanted to play for a small market team. That's why he originally signed with OKC. And now it looks like he's for sure going to be leaving a free agency. He even took Lakers out of his bio for a bit. I'm not too sure if it's still out of his bio. Again, Montrezl Harrell, who I believe is on a player option, I think he'll definitely be declining that. And, most likely moving to a different team. So pretty much, they're going to have a lot of cap. But the way I think I see this is, I definitely believe, Dennis Schroeder, who likes the small market teams, I think he'll actually be interested in the Portland Trailblazers. And if they manage to keep Dame, I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted to play 6-man behind him, just like how he played 6-man with Chris Paul. So the way I see the Lakers actually going out and getting, of course, CJ McCollum, I believe he's on about a $33 million contract. So to make the contracts, kind of match up, there's reports that, Dennis Schroeder wants an $18 million deal. They'll give him that and trade him off. And then I think, I believe Kuzma's on a $12 million deal. So that's about $30 million right there. So that's pretty much the contracts. They both kind of match up there. And then I think, of course, the Lakers would have to offer up about 2 future first round picks. I think 1 non-protected and 1 protected. And then I think that gets you CJ McCollum. And then I think the Trailblazers will be happy with this deal as well. They get some, 2 very valuable role players. Whether Dame stays or whether he doesn't, those will still be, some good role players to kind of have on the team. And then, of course, the Lakers bring in a shooter to partner up with LeBron James, a very good shooter. And, of course, the Portland Trailblazers, CJ McCollum, who is, of course, averaging pretty good numbers, like 23 points per game, 4.7 assists, 3.9 rebounds on 40% from 3. And he was nearly averaging like 27 points per game before he got injured. So he would be a very good player to go and get. Then you'd pretty much have 3 stars. You'd have LeBron James, AD, and CJ McCollum. And I expect AD to bounce back next year and get back to what we know, he, originally was. So I think that, of course, makes, the most amount of sense. And then again, LeBron James, I hope he has a bounce back year as well. Of course, he's got to get over these injuries. So I think bringing in a backup playmaker would be a nice thing to do. We just know that, of course, Dennis Schroeder he was just never, like, a good playmaker or anything like that. I still feel like they need a scorer, but preferably a playmaker off the bench, I think, makes the most amount of sense. If CJ McCollum wanted to, he can be a shot creator any day of the week. But I think, again, bringing in a backup point guard, that's a good defender, a good playmaker. Caruso was kind of like that, but I mean like a better playmaker than Caruso. Like a Rondo type of guy, even though he'll be still on the Clippers. But you know what I mean? Like a dude like that to bring in, I think would be really cool. And of course, they're going to need a new starting center. I don't think Andre Drummond will come back. There's rumors they want to offer him the minimum, but Drummond wants about a $5 to $10 million long-term contract, I believe. So he'll probably go to like Charlotte, who desperately need a rebounder and a center, and he'd be kind of perfect for them. He'd probably sign like a long-term deal. And again, Gordon Hayward, Andre Drummond, Terry Rozier, and LaMelo Ball is quite a interesting group of players right there. So they'll probably need a new center. I'd really like to see them go out and get Dwight Howard again. How funny would that be to see him come back, full circle back on the Lakers? Issue with Dwight Howard is I think he'll be a backup center for the rest of his career now. Just because, of course, he gets into so much foul trouble. But again, they need a dude, JaVale McGee as well, who'll be a free agent. These former Lakers that did so well, that they just got rid of for no reason. It'd be really cool to see them try and get back. And again, getting KCP back would be the ideal situation. I still think there's a chance he re-signs, but he might not now. So, you'd kind of probably look at a starting 5. They'd look at LeBron James at point guard, CJ McCollum at shooting guard, KCP at small forward, Anthony Davis at power forward, and maybe like a JaVale McGee at center. That would be a really nice starting 5. And then, again, off the bench, they could look to go from there. I definitely think JaVale McGee will be looking to, leave the Denver Nuggets, just because he didn't really get any minutes at all when it came to the playoffs or anything like that. He actually, I think JaVale actually really liked it at the Cavs. I think it was disappointing when he got traded, but it kind of worked out for both teams. But now, again, I still think he might leave Denver. He literally only played 13.5 minutes a game for them and only 8.5 minutes in the playoffs. So I'm sure he'll be looking to leave. I don't think the Lakers will be perfect. Whether they keep Andre Drummond or not, he could either start or even play backup. And I still think, JaVale is still a pretty fit player and is still a really nice player. Like, he was super underrated on the Cavaliers. So, again, I'd like to see him return back to the Lakers. I think that'd be really cool. But again, CJ McCollum would just be really nice for this team. And I think the Trailblazers do pretty decent in this trade as well. Bringing in some nice role players. And if Dame stays, you've got some more role players to work with. If he leaves, you've still got a couple of picks you got from this trade and role players you can use as trade, assets, or who knows, maybe they just rock with Dennis Schroeder and KCP both in their starting lineup, next year. So, Dennis Schroeder and Kyle Kuzma rather. So, again, that could definitely be something that I would like to see, and I think Los Angeles Lakers fans should get excited because a starting 5 like that, LeBron, CJ, KCP, AD and JaVale McGee, that reminds me of their old championship team. They had, a little bit ago in in the 2020 bubble season. So I definitely think if they can get back to this form, it would be a really nice thing to, maybe see. Again, they could look at other players as well, like Dwight Howard, and Andre Drummond will still be there. They'll most likely look at. And again, I think maybe even some veterans here and there would be nice. But of course, I think it'd be very interesting to kind of see how this will all eventually unfold. But of course, if you haven't already, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for the latest NBA content, NBA news, and sports-related content in general. Don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel, my IRL/vlog channels. And don't forget to check out my podcast as well, if you haven't already, which I will link all in the description down below. And of course, don't forget to comment your thoughts and opinions on this down below. Do you guys think the Lakers will trade for CJ McCollum? Do you guys think they'll be able to get him done for this cheap of, deal? Or do you think they'll have to pay a little bit more? And do you guys think the Portland Trail Blazers will maybe look to do something like this? Of course, I'd very much like to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this down below. But as I was saying, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.